Hi, and welcome to The Winning Hand. I'm Howard Reback, and thank you for betting on yourself. We're back with another weekly segment of The Winning Hand with yours truly, Montreal gambling therapist, counselor, expert, loser. You can add any adjective you want. We're doing the show live in Montreal, Canada right now. We're trying to reach as many people as we can. We did our first show last week, and things seem to have gone pretty well. The feedback has been a little slow, which is normal. We're new at this. The idea of this show each and every week is to try and come across as many people as we possibly can and talk about the world of addiction, primarily the world of gambling, which is what I had a problem with. But 2 weeks ago, I was actually walking in downtown Montreal, and I bumped into an old friend's wife. And this kind of story sort of sums up my life, an addict's life who cleaned himself up. She had stopped me on the street, totally out of left field, as I was putting money in the meter for parking, and she walked up to me and said, "How are you? Howard, how are you?" And I looked at her and went, "I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?" It was a look to say that I was already labeled. I was labeled an addict, a gambling addict, as a sick person. And I took great offense to that and great umbrage to that event when it happened. And it's stuck in my mind ever since. Addicts, in this case gamblers, we come in all shapes and sizes. You know, it doesn't matter if you're black or you're white, if you're short, if you're tall, if you're fat, if you're skinny, if you have money, you don't have money, if you're a man, if you're a woman. I think you get the point by now. The point is it can hit everybody. I was lucky enough to have a business which I created in my early 20s when my oldest boy was born. And I had a successful business. I made good money. I blew and wasted good money. At the same time, in my 30s, the business began to roll again. I began to lose money again. The point is that I had no concept in my mind right now about what money was all about and how the world of gambling was killing me. It's not a question of how much you lose. It's not a question if you can afford it. Because the age-old question about the world of gambling is, if you make $5 million a year, but you blow $2 million a year gambling, are you sick? My opinion is, if you blow $40,000 a week, which is $2 million a year on gambling, yeah, you are sick. If people like Ben Affleck or Kobe Bryant, or now Celine Dion's husband, who came clean last week in a new book, Renee Angelel, could admit to losing millions of dollars, does that make them sick? Does that make them a gambling addict? Of course it does. Of course it does. You know, somebody that only makes $400 a week but blows 70, they're sick too. Gambling has a brand new name in the last 10, 12 years. They call it gaming, to make it sound nicer, to make it sound more friendly, to make it sound more enjoyable. It's not. To the average person, gambling is a very mild form, a nice form of entertainment. But to a large amount of people, and I'll give you stats later on as the weeks go by, as I get information, for a large amount of people, gambling starts off very, very innocently. Just like smoking, just like eating, just like any addiction. But when it gets out of hand, that's when you know that you're in trouble. When it starts affecting your life, when you start waking up in the morning wondering how you're going to feed your habit, whatever that habit is, then you know it's getting the better part of you. The Winning Hand. I'm Howard Reback. Each and every week we're going to have a new show and try and pick up a new topic, because God knows the world has got to talk about it. Radio and TV shunned me being on their airwaves. And I'm going to do it this way because I'm going to tell you how I feel from the gut, the true and honest realism about the world of gambling and what it can do to you. See you next week.